Hi guys, Annemarie here. This is another vlog, a Friday one, and this is maybe a little bit of a different one to the ones we've done so far, and will also possibly be different to the ones that will follow from here onwards. I want to share something quite significant in my life with you today. Why am I doing these vlogs? Why am I doing these videos? Why are we sharing all of this content with you? 6 weeks before my PhD supervisor died, I visited her. Neither of us knew that this would be the last time that we would either see each other or speak to each other. I did an impromptu visit. I was in the area where she lived. I popped in and I had just a check-in and a discussion with her. I could see that she wasn't well. She had some sort of an illness that was starting to occur. I can't even remember what it was. But we immediately went into our general, inquiring kind of questions. We were quite challenging each other from a work point of view. And it was an amazing discussion that I had with her. And before I left, she gave me her final words to me was, Annemarie, you should write more. She died in 2014, 6 weeks later, and I was devastated. And I really want to honor her command or her request. It wasn't a command. Ruth didn't command. Ruth requested, but she requested it in such a way that you couldn't help but doing it. So this is quite a few years later, but I want to honor her final request to me in Annemarie, you should write more. So maybe vlogging is not necessarily writing, but I guess it is producing content some sort of a way. And I do think, and I do believe with all my heart that we've got a lot of interesting, different content to share. So, and videoing them or vlogging them just takes less time than writing them. So let's call it a little bit of time management principles in that equation. And I would just want to highlight a little bit my PhD journey with you, because you might understand why Ruth Watson, my PhD supervisor, had such an impact on that. And for those of you who live in South Africa and is involved in any occupational therapy networks will really know her. She was quite an iconic person, very well known in the South African occupational therapy world. I started my research in 2004 with a 6 months research methodology course. And in 2005, I registered for a master's and wrote my proposal. Also, my second son was born in 2005. 2006, I collected my first data. I walked into a call center. That was my data population. It's a very fascinating, interesting world. Anyway, so I collected my first set of data in 2006, but also in 2006, quite an iconic year, I also wrote my book. And my husband developed stage 4 cancer. He's in remission now, but needless to say, 2006 was not the easiest year. And then 2007, I took a year off, had enough. I needed to just, recuperate a little bit of the impact of 2006. So I took a year off in 2008, picked up the pieces. And at that stage, my supervisor was my statistician, who was another part of my supervisor, suggested that I upgrade to a PhD because I had loads of data and my research was quite innovative, which we managed to do in 2008. You rewrite your proposal, you submit it through for ethics, permissions, whatever. And then 2010, I actually collected 3 more data sets. And then after I've done that, I had to then start to write my thesis, because research is nothing if you haven't written up what you've done, which was a big hurdle. So by the time that I got my head around starting and writing my thesis, at that stage, Ruth was involved a little bit before then, but she was literally the person who handheld me through this period of writing. For 9 months, I got up every morning at 4. I wrote every day. I had a bit of tools down on the business at that stage to try to finish this. Absolutely the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. And then I remember I would phone Ruth every morning at 10 and say, Ruth, I can't do this. It's too hard for me. I'm stupid. I'm not clever enough. And she every single time managed to pick me up from the floor, to encourage me again, to provide me with the right amount of words and encouragement that I managed to just continue and continue and continue. So particularly for those final 9 months when I was writing, she was such an instrumental part of helping me to keep going. She was involved before that as well, but that was where it really, really got tough and hard. And I managed to finish that. And in 2012, I handed in my thesis, and I graduated in 2012. And then she died in 2014. So this is just sharing a little bit how important it is for all of us, for me definitely, but for all of us, do you have a mentor in our lives? Do you have someone who look out for you? Do you have someone who supports you? Do you have someone who believe in you? And someone to just raise you up and give you guidance. And she was tough at times, but she was the most compassionate, amazing, brilliant woman that I think I've ever known. So full of wisdom, and I miss her every day. So this vlog is dedicated to Ruth Watson, such an iconic individual. I've got the most amount of respect for her. Ruth, I'm honoring your last request to write more, so I'm doing more content. And I hope every one of you appreciate the special people you have in your life that mentor you, that support you, and that do shout out for you. This is all that I have for today. Till next time, take care and cheers.